in the sudden forces, we will be talking about volcanoes, okay, and their sudden eruption. We will also be talking about earthquakes. Both of them are the endogenetic processes. That means their source lies within the earth, okay. So basically, sudden movements, these are caused by sudden endogenetic forces coming from deep within the earth. So they cause such sudden and rapid events that result in massive destruction at and below the earth's surface. Means huge loss of life and property at times. Destruction of earthquakes also depends on the density of population. So if in an area where the earthquake has stricken, density of population is high, so what will happen? It will lead to higher destruction. So first of all, coming to volcanoes, around 80% of the origin of Earth is volcanic in nature. Most of the landforms which are formed on the surface of the Earth, okay, so they have volcanic origin. So volcanoes are also called as Earth's geologic architect. Would bring some changes to the surface of Earth. Then volcanic activities have great impact on Earth's landscape. Their explosive force builds up mountains and craters. So you can see like this volcano is erupting, okay, as shown in the picture. And what happens? That the lava that comes out, it accumulates on the side, giving rise to a mountain, or crater is some kind of a hollow is created here, okay, which might convert into lake in future. Now with time, volcanic rock breaks down, freeing the nutrients that make one of the most fertile soil that have helped civilization to flourish. So what happens is, like we talk about the igneous rocks, or we talk about in India, black cotton soil. So cotton soil is basically of the volcanic origin. It is very fertile. So at times what happens? These volcanic rocks with time, they would break up and they give us most fertile soils. So what is a volcano basically? Volcano is an opening or vent, okay? An opening on the surface of the earth, okay? Through which molten rock, hot gases, volcanic ash and other material, they erupt suddenly. Studied asthenosphere, source of magma, or what we say magma, when it comes out of the volcano, when it erupts out of the volcano, it is known as lava, okay. The source of magma or the molten rock is the layer asthenosphere, which is part of the mantle, okay. So volcano basically, it is an opening or vent on the earth's crust. An opening could be here or an opening is here. What happens when sometimes a volcano, it erupts again and again? So what will happen? The material that comes out of the volcano, it gets deposited on the side of the volcano, making a mountain. It means the volcano becomes broad, and sometimes the volcano is steep. Steep means the material does not go to such great extent, to such great distances, it gets accumulated here. So what happens, since the temperature is very high and pressure also builds up with time, so the eruption takes place, okay. Volcanoes often form a hill or mountain as layers of rock and ash build up from repeated eruptions. Basically, I told you the magma, it comes out, okay. So the magma, it forces its way into the planes of weakness. So wherever the earth crust is weak, what will happen? Magma will come out of that area because lot of pressure and high temperature builds up. So the material, it fall around the vent in successive layers, building a characteristic volcanic. The materials include lava, it includes cinders, are basically some rocks also that come out, ashes, dust, liquid mud. So a lot of material comes out of a volcano. Magma, while forcing its way to the surface, may cool and solidify, forming extrusive landforms. So what happens? This magma is hot when it comes out, but with times what happens? It gets cool. ठीक है, ठंडा हो जाता है और फिर ये solidify हो जाता है. So it forms various landforms that we will also study कि क्या क्या बनता है on the surface of Earth. Okay. Rocks formed by such activities are known as igneous rock. Now the mantle has a weak zone called asthenosphere. I've already told you there is a layer which is weak, also known as plastic layer. Okay, asthenosphere. From here, the molten rock material find its way to the surface. The volcanic mountains are also known as mountains of accumulation. Really talk about three types of volcanoes: active, dormant, or extinct. This active volcano is basically which has, erupted recently, and it can erupt again also. So active volcanoes, they have a recent history of eruptions and they are likely to erupt again. Example, Mount Agung in Indonesia. Now, dormant volcanoes, basically, they have not erupted for very long time. So their eruption is due. For example, there is Mount Vesuvius in Italy. So then we have extinct volcanoes. Extinct, basically, they will not erupt again in future. Now, inside an active volcano is a chamber. So you can see this is the chamber. Okay, this is the chamber in which molten rock or magma collects. So magma gets collected here in the chamber. And then what happens with time, pressure it builds up inside the magma chamber. And due to the pressure, the magma will rise. Okay, it will start moving upward. Okay, causing magma to move through the channels in the rock and escape onto the earth's surface. So magma will move and it will come out of the vent of this volcano. So once it flows onto the surface, known as lava. Okay. Now some volcanic eruptions are explosive. They make a lot of noise, while others are slow. So both kinds, they depend on the material, the kind of material, the nature of the material which is coming out. The lavas are of two types: basic lava and acidic lava, acid lava. So basic lava, these are the hottest lava and are highly fluid. So they are rich in iron and magnesium, but they are poor in silica. So they don't have silica, they have iron and magnesium, and they go to very large distance. So when they come out of volcano, they are not explosive, they are rather quiet. So they affect very large areas because they are highly fluid. So they spread out as thin sheets over the large areas before they solidify. The resultant volcano forms a flattened shield or dome. So basically this gives rise to one type of volcano which is known as shield volcano. It is kind of a broad volcano. Okay? Because the material it travels to large distances. Now acid lava में क्या है? Silica की percentage is very high. They are not very fluid. They flow slowly. They do not travel very far, and they make they make a lot of noise. The resultant cone is steep sided. So basically they make volcano like this which has steep sides. So there are four types of volcanoes. The name are cinder cones, composite volcano, shield volcano, and lava domes. We will see what these are. So first of all is the shield volcano. So I told you they are not very steep. They are far and wider because the material of the rock, or you can say the lava, is such that it would move to greater distances. Okay. They extend to great height as well as distance. Okay. They are largest of all volcanoes in the world as lava flows to far distance. Hawaiian volcanoes are the example. Okay. So highly fluid lava build up shield volcanoes with gently rising slopes, broad and flattened tops. So these volcanoes are made up of basalt. Okay, a type of lava which is very fluid. So for this reason, these volcanoes are not steep. At times they can make noise if the water enters the opening from where lava is coming out. Since the low viscosity magma is typically low in silica and these are made up of basalt, shield volcanoes are more common in oceanic than continental setting. These have, explosive eruptions. Okay. So that means the basalt is not the main, content in the magma. And these are also known as stratovolcanoes. So other name for this is stratovolcanoes. These are known as composite is because if this is a volcano and this is the magma chamber and this is the vent. Okay, so magma is coming out. would move up, and this is the main vent. But what happens? The magma would also flow. So that means there are subsidiary pipes also from where the magma would come out. Okay, that is why it is known as composite volcano. Each eruption adds new layers of ashes or lava to the sides of the volcano. So the volcano, it grows to great height. And I told you they are not very wide. Why? Because the nature of lava, once it comes out, the nature of lava is such that it does not flow to great distances. Okay. And from the main conduit, subsidiary pipes may reach the surface as the feeder to parasitic cones. So these are the parasitic cones. So subsidiary pipes are there, okay, from which the magma comes out. So example I've written, Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy mein hai. Mount Fuji in Japan, Mount Rainier in Washington. Cinder cones are basically, these are thought to be the simplest type of volcanoes, okay, and the smallest ones. And what happens is in these volcanoes also, what happens that the rocks or the magma that ejects out, that comes out, it gets collected around the vent. So cone shaped hills made up of ejected igneous rocks called cinder. So the rock that comes out, okay, it is known as cinder, and cinder is also known as scoria. So just the different terms, okay. So the magma that forms the cinder cones contains tremendous amount of dissolved gas. So a lot of gas is there. So the magma, when it comes out, it comes along with the dissolved gas, and so there is a noise also. Okay. And whatever comes out, it collects around the vent. You can see here is a crater. So a crater is formed at the top. And cinder cones are formed when the gas charged lava is blown out with a great force into the air, and the lava along with the rocks, it breaks into small fragments and it solidifies. So it solidifies around the vent. Okay. And this solidified material builds up a circular or oval shaped cone with a bowl shaped crater at the top. So a crater is created. Pressure and gravity influence the formation of this volcano. So the last type of volcano is the lava domes, also known as plug domes. The lava that comes out, the lava is so thick and viscous. Viscous means it is very thick, that the lava, it does not flow very far and it accumulates around the source from where it comes out. So some lava domes are circular and flat in shape. So as you can see, the shape is bit circular and flat at the top. So the size and shape of the lava dome can change from one volcano to the next. And why the lava is viscous? Because it has high amount of silica. Example is the lava dome of Mount St. Helens. We have seen this. The crater is formed. Okay. So the name given to it is caldera. Caldera is basically a bowl-shaped circular depression formed to such a shape by the destruction of the peak of the volcano. So volcano was like this. This part got destroyed. So these are large volcanic craters that form by two different methods. One is by explosive volcanic eruption. That means there was such high explosion that the top part, it is destroyed and a depression is there. Depression is made. Okay. Or the collapse of the surface rock into the empty magma chamber. So this surface rock, it falls back to the magma chamber. Crater Lake, Oregon.